Good morning, folks. This is Deb Delapiana, and this is your Mother's Day chain reaction report. But you know, it's got a little bit of shut the fuck up in here too. It's kind of like one of those wide open, hybrid kind of mornings. So first of all, let me make a statement to the, not a lot of people, but a couple of people, both male and female, who insist that if we talk about abortion access and abortion rights today, we are insulting mothers. You can shut the fuck up. Let me tell you how this works, okay? I will talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about whenever the fuck I want to talk about it. And by the way, I'm the mother of 2 children, but I also believe that women should have the right to dictate what happens to their own bodies without government interference, without interference by other citizens, because it's none of your fucking business, and without men chiming in. Men can chime in as soon as we have some laws in this country that make them culpable and responsible financially. I don't give a shit about emotionally, because you know what? You can't legislate morality or emotion, but you can legislate the wallet. When men are held responsible for the child that they are the other half of the equation in the production of. Okay? Now, I raised 2 children without any men at all involved. Their involvement amounted to me buying sperm from the California cryobank. I chose men who did not want involvement with the children because I did not want them involved with my children. I raised 2 great kids. People telling you that it can't be done without a male figure in the family are full of shit. And by the way, my children were exposed to plenty of guys. I have a lot of extended family, and I have a lot of male friends. And that's all I want, male friends. I want no other involvement. So, let's talk about a couple of things here. I'm going to tell you right the fuck now. Roe v. Wade is only the beginning of the oppression of women in this country. And Roe v. Wade will extend far beyond just abortion and contraception access. They're already targeting contraception. Okay, this has been talked about now for a few weeks. I've seen it. I've been watching it. In a couple states, they're talking about contraception not being legal for married people so that they can continue to populate the fucking earth, which is already over fucking populated. Okay, but there are also some people out there who are white supremacists who only want white babies. Okay, we'll get into that in a minute. There are some states, now the rumor is out there that Marsha Blackburn is talking about in Tennessee, only people who are married using contraception. I'm going to tell you what's afoot here, folks. The things that stand to be the next in line of attack after Roe v. Wade are gay marriage, cohabitation without marriage, sex without marriage, access to contraception, which they're already talking about, interracial marriage. All of these rights are technically, according to the Supreme Court, not called out specifically in the Constitution, even though we know Roe v. Wade was made legal by the Supreme Court. What we really need in this country is a brand new Bill of Rights, written from scratch, from the ground up, that cannot be touched. And we have been saying this for a very long period of time. A Bill of Rights that guarantees we're all on equal footing here. We don't have that right now. And I'm going to tell you something else. If you allow the Republicans to take control of the House and Senate in 2022, and if you allow a Republican to take over the White House in 2022, If you can't see now, after everything that has gone on here in this country since January 6, 2021, since the insurrection, since the attempted overthrow of the government to reinstall an authoritarian dickhead, if you can't see what's going on here by now, you're fucking beyond any kind of hope whatsoever. Everybody, including geniuses like Danielle St. John, you know, the great streamer, who was calling the whole Roe v. Wade discussion in distraction from the real problems, is a blithering fucking idiot. And so is everyone who continues to follow anything that she says. You want the New World Order? You're fucking looking at it. You're looking at it right now, okay? I don't want to hear about how there are elites on the left side too. We understand all of that. But those elites are not trying to take away your rights. The elites on the right are indeed doing this, and this has been their mission for a long time. It boils down to this. The GOP's base are the most baseless human beings in this country. They are the white supremacists. They are the bigots. They are the anti-trans people. They are the homophobes. They are the people who hate the poor. They are the people who dislike immigrants. That is the base of the GOP, and it's gotten worse because basically the GOP has ceded its ownership to Donald Trump. The base for the Democrats are women, gay people, transgender people, poor people, people of color, immigrants. That's the base. We have a basic, we're overcomplicating all of this. Okay, we have the right, and we have the left. And that's all we've got. And understand where you fall. And understand this, the two parties are not the same by definition. So anytime someone's out there telling you, oh, the two parties are the same, I'm not going to vote because we need another party. You know what? The fucking Green Party's been trying to get on the ballot for 30 fucking years. Or however many fucking years, 100 fucking years it feels like. I was a Green for a very short period of time. I'm no longer a Green. I'm voting straight Democrat down the line from day one, and I'm never stopping. The goal here right now, right this minute, is to fight the GOP and the right wing in this country. Get a fucking clue. You need some help with that? Yeah, let me read some stuff to you here. Let me read some stuff to you here. Where shall we start? Oh, I think we should start right here. How many of women, let me start that over. How many of the women rallying against overturning Roe are overeducated, underloved millennials who sadly returned from protests to a lonely microwave dinner with their cats and no Bumble matches? That's from Matt Gaetz, the trafficker of young girls. Ostensibly 36-year-old man at the time he trafficked a 17-year-old into another state to have sex. A man who, in his late 30s, used to have little games with his friends where if you had sex with a girl in a sorority, you got extra points. You know, kind of like a Hogwarts thing. These are the kinds of people that'll be in power if you return the GOP. This is a guy who shouldn't even be in office right now. I don't know what they got on him, but they got something on him. And he's the greasiest, scummiest looking piece of shit that ever walked the planet. Any woman who marries him, and I know he recently got married, any woman who marries him deserves what they get. There are, of course, loathsome women in all of this equation as well. Women who believe that they're second to men, and they're the weaker sex, like Marjorie Taylor Greene in her little rampage. We are the weaker sex. We are our husband's wives. Is that right? Let's see a man carry a pregnancy to term. I'd like to see that one. You know, as a very good friend of mine used to say before she passed away, if men could get pregnant, abortion would be a sacrament. Men have an awful lot to say about this shit with absolutely no responsibility. And I know they walk away unscathed when they're not married. And by the way, how many deadbeat dads are there in America? There's plenty of deadbeat dads in America. You can see the list anytime you want to go. So please, honestly, Men. And I realize not all of you are the same. I have some people in my group, and I know they're not the same. I have some people in my family, and I know they're not the same. But by and large, men can shut the fuck up. Okay? They can shut the fuck up. We're not interested in their opinion. Lindsay Graham. A man who I believe still lives with his mother. I don't know. I think he's the biggest closet queen in history, frankly. But you'll never get that out of him because he's a Republican. He's commenting here on the Supreme Court, you know, the leak. It's a sad day for the Supreme Court and a dangerous day for the rule of law. The radical assault on our institutions and the Constitution itself has reached a new level with the release of a draft opinion on a major issue facing the court. Whether you are a liberal, conservative, or moderate, the integrity of the court has been compromised by this outrageous act, an affront to the rule of law. Fuck you, Lindsay. Fuck you, okay? You have an alleged rapist on the court. You have Clarence Thomas on the court. The Republican Party is always waxing and waning about activist judges, unless, of course, it's the activist judges on the right. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Activist judges, is that what we call them? They don't rule on precedent, they rule on ideology, okay? The institution of the Supreme Court is a fucking joke. If we had an ironclad Bill of Rights, we wouldn't need a fucking Supreme Court for this. In America, the radical left is hell-bent on reshaping institutions that have stood in the way of outcomes they desire. Oh, and the right isn't? Spare me all of this agony. What the right wants to do is return this country to 1776, where the black man was here to serve the white man, and the white man reigned supreme. 1776, where women had no rights except to be the chattel for men. Something you owned. And something you bossed around. I'm not the least bit interested in returning this country to 1776. I didn't live then. I wouldn't want to live then. I live right the fuck now. If you are not voting out these shitbags en masse after this, you're an idiot, because they are not done. They are not done. They don't want interracial marriage because they want a pure white race. We're talking about a party who welcomes people who literally want to close the borders and make this a white society. People like Nicholas Fuentes, who said America was never intended to be a playground for non-white people. And don't say they're not welcome. They are welcome. Politicians attended his conference. They pose with pictures of the 3%ers. They pose with pictures with the 3%ers and the Proud Boys. They have literally seated their party to a jackaloon who is not even anywhere near a legitimate politician anymore. He's out raising money for a campaign he hasn't announced yet. That in and of itself is fucking illegal. It breaks federal election laws. The only way the GOP wins is if the left doesn't go out and vote. They are not the majority in this fucking country. They are the loudest because they're the most obnoxious people on the planet, and they're the most misguided. But they don't fucking execute any policies that benefit America. They execute policies that oppress people. In Florida, you're looking at some asshole that's taken authoritarian rule for a spin, and it's working. He's going to run for president. You're going to elect him too? Get a fucking clue. They're talking about making IUDs punishable by a murder charge in Louisiana. This came from an attorney. They're talking about banning IUDs in other states. They're talking about banning the morning after pill, which doesn't even abort anything. All it does is prevent a woman from ovulating. We have been saying for a long time that this was coming and nobody wanted to hear it. It's a distraction. It's a distraction from the New World Order. You're looking at the fucking New World Order. And by the way, the Illuminati was a fucking card game. Get over it. Start dealing with reality. The reality that's going on right in front of your fucking faces. Instead of living in some kind of fucking conspiracy theory dream world. Waiting around for shit to happen. You're like all the mass arrests of the Democrats with all those sealed affidavits. Where is that, by the way? That's in QAnon's mind. It isn't ever going to happen. Because it isn't fucking real. What's real is what's going on right now. Wake up. And by the way, you know what? We used to talk about revolution all the time when we were become ungovernable, which we are now no longer, okay? We used to talk about revolution. Forget the whole fucking revolution thing. This is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. We are mired in this system right now, okay? And that's the way it goes. But if you think letting the GOP in is going to change this system, what it's going to do is codify oppression, and that's all it's going to do. You are living in this system right now. You saw a supposed revolution with 10,000 people breaking into the Capitol. Did that get them where they wanted to go? Is Donald Trump president today? In their minds he is, but he's not. If you want to fight back, you need to fight back in this system, and that is the way it goes. They are overturning your rights by passing legislation. They are overturning your rights by passing laws. They are overturning your rights. This has been a concerted effort. They knew if they passed on a statewide basis some oppressive laws about abortion, it would eventually get to the Supreme Court. They politically and purposely stacked the Supreme Court for the purpose of this trip that we are taking right now. And they got their way. You want to fight back? You need to do the same fucking thing. You need to vote out the GOP. And then we can talk about making some headway on some other things. But if you think the GOP is going to allow bills like codifying abortion on a national basis to go through, you're fucking nuts. These are the people trying to take your rights away. We need to get, you want a better result of what you're seeing here in this country? You need to give the Democrats a bigger majority. Simple as that. It's as fucking simple as that. It does not need to be overcomplicated with the Illuminati or the New World Order. We know you love living there because guess what? Then you can claim that you are a victim and there's nothing you can do to fight it. But the actual fact is there is shit that you can do. Just get the fuck up and do it. I'll talk to you later.